Joining me now is News Corp senior writer Patrick Carline and former Labor MP Michael Danby. Patrick, David Littleproud holds a very comfortable margin. It's around 20%. There was a small swing to One Nation at the last federal election in his seat. Can they realistically unseat him?
Probably not, to be honest. 20% is a lot, but it's what it symbolises. If you look at that poll, it found that almost 1 in 2 Australian voters intend not to vote for either the Labor or the Liberal Party. That's 1 in 2 who won't vote for the government in power of the day. And we're seeing that fragmentation. We're seeing it with the Greens previously. But it's all going to One Nation at the moment. Those numbers are huge. The Liberals are in disarray. And it's part of an international trend as well. If you look at Britain, you see all those conservative defections to reform. I mean, there is a real right-leaning push.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's been apparent, Michael, internationally. The Liberal Party, the coalition, have missed it. We've spoken about it on this program for years. The fact that there are so many people in this country who feel they're not properly represented. And I think the Tories found that out in the UK. The Libs learnt zero lessons. If they remain weak and directionless, could you see One Nation gaining even greater popularity, perhaps snatching a few more national MPs, and down the track, possibly a coalition between One Nation and the Nationals?
I think it's more likely that One Nation's influence will grow in the Senate. I'm not sure because of our preference system that we're going to see One Nation win that many lower house seats, although I think they will win some. The most significant thing about this news poll and the Channel 9 poll is that it shows if you combine the One Nation and Liberal National Party vote, that they've gone up several percent and that the government is unpopular. So I still think Albo, with his 95-seat majority, is likely to win, but he might get a big shock with a very big swing at the next election. And Rita, the real thing to look for is One Nation having the swing factor in the Senate. I could see them getting as many as 10 or maybe 12 senators.
Well, when you saw that Demos poll that came out about a week before News poll, which also had One Nation ahead of the coalition in the primary vote, they looked at the two-party preferred, and when it was Labor and One Nation, it was 50-50. When it was Labor and the coalition, it was 52-48 in Labor's favour. So we are seeing things change. I think a few years ago you would have never thought a party like Reform could be created and be viable, and here we are. Nigel Farage could be the next Prime Minister of Britain, and could Pauline Hanson one day be Prime Minister?
Wow. That's a big ask.
Well,
I mean, she's in the Senate, but
Yes.
if
I could see her having a majority in the Senate and determining Australian policy, like the Greens do with Labor. You know, they could easily have 10 or 12 senators and say to the Liberal National Party, well, you have to go more rightwards.
Well, the Greens have pulled both the Libs and Labor to the left for many years, so perhaps there's need for a correction.